Well, good evening, team. Welcome back to Next Level JJ, and yes, we're gonna have some fun tonight. It's been a while, been busy with all kinds of stuff, but just needed to scratch that marathon itch. Hey, look, I hope it's really good wherever you're at in the world today. Yeah, what can we say? We got Bingus ready to go, so let's get into it. Now, importantly, if you want to learn more about me, our channel, our community, all of that fancy stuff, head over to nextleveljj.com. Link should be there. Check out especially the Discord. You know, we're always adding new people to us, so it'd be nice for you to come and join us over there. Then, of course, the amazing music, as always, is provided by Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Go check them out on Spotify. Link is in the description. But, of course, you can just go and find them on Spotify. Now, as I was sort of lying on the couch behind me for a little bit this afternoon, thinking, how can I add to the marathon community? Because it is something that I've been with since basically, you know, not day one. I didn't play the very early version, but definitely pre-release and then from day one. And, you know, it is a community that I love, and I think it's a community that needs that support because, of course, we've had some people be a little bit against marathon, but hey, you know what, whatever, let's not get into that. But there has been a lot of discussions around what can be added to marathon to make it a game that is, I guess, acceptable by other people as well. And the problem is marathon is a very sweaty game. For those who love sweaty shooters, most of them say this is the best game of the year, and some of them even say it's their best shooting game ever. I, as a average FPS player, I find it fantastic, but there are moments where I do get absolutely chomped at the bit by some really good players, and so I sometimes gravitate now to this more PvE focused thing. Of course, you know, the PvP side is still a lot of fun, and we do get involved with that, but so, of course, Bungie just recently said, hey, we're going to release a new PvE part at the end of this season, and it's going to be focused on PvE cryo. So very exciting in that regard. But still, what more can they do? So they've already got a bit of a pipeline of things to come, but I suspect they need to be a lot quicker at this. They need to give us a campaign. A lot of the Destiny players are thinking, what are we going to do now? And a lot of them are actually being kind of recommended to give Marathon a chance. If they want Destiny to become Destiny 3, Bungie has to survive this, and so support Marathon. But they're not going to jump into Marathon and go, oh, this is amazing because I'm just getting murdered by people with a sniper from across time Marsh. They're going to want to have lore, and they're going to want to have a campaign to play through, okay? And so it made me think, well, hang on a minute. Why don't I just look at what is available at the moment in the current game and see if there's a way for them to fairly quickly, I understand game development, but fairly quickly turn things around into a campaign without having to develop too much new things. And if we think about it, the content that we've been given already is amazing. I mean, yeah, some people don't like the design, but if you ask real designers, they are blown away by the quality of the design, even though it looks pretty simplistic. And so I was like, hang on a minute, why don't we jig these things in the right way to make it enticing for new players to want to come and give it a go? Through that process, teach them a little bit more about the game of Marathon, and then when they enter the PvP realm, they're not literally sitting ducks, a deer in headlights, just sitting there waiting to be murdered because they have no idea where it's coming from. And so I thought, okay, well, how can I put this down? How can I convey this to you? And the thing that came to mind, I know, is a slideshow. So yes, I got cracking and put together a bit of a slideshow, just some of my ideas of what we can do to potentially, what Bungie can do cheaply to get a campaign going. Now, yes, this is a pretty basic PowerPoint presentation. Please don't murder me. It took me about an hour to put together, but importantly, I want to hear from you. If you've got cool ideas, different things, let's put this together. Let's create a bit of a movement here. I'm definitely going to be posting clips of this on the various channels to see if we can get some attention to this. I can imagine Bungie's already thinking about this. Remember, these are the people that developed things like Halo and Destiny. They know about campaigns. They know how to make these things. The thing is right now, they've probably got a lot of things to focus on, and I think this could be something that can go, actually, you know what? we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can just use the wheels we've got. Anyway, so to our PowerPoint presentation. The first thing I want to talk about is the lore. So a lot of people have jumped into this game and completely missed the lore. There's a little intro explaining to you what you're doing on the planet, which is so kind of beautiful and colorful and overwhelming. It gets lost. And so I think what a lot of Destiny people like is lore. Any people who like single player PvE style games or PvP, but people like lore. They want to understand that there's a reason why they're doing this. They're not just something that is dropped on a planet and then you go and kill stuff. You want to have a purpose. And so when we talk about lore, it's interesting. A lot of people, when you ask them, they go, the marathon has lore. Bungie started in 1990. That's 30 years ago. But in 1994, they developed the first Marathon, a full-fledged single-player game that did fairly well. It was hampered by the system it was launched on, but it wasn't that bad. I actually played it just before Marathon officially launched, and I found it quite interesting, but there's a deep story here. Then, of course, there's Marathon 2. Did you know there's a Marathon 2? And there was even a Marathon Infinity. So there is story that they can hark back to and rely on to carry the story forward, you know? And of course, you know, they went on to create Halo, just Halo, but of course other things, you know, Destiny and other things. But talking about the lore, just very quickly, if you look at the history of Marathon, it starts technically way back with them building the ship. And by the way, all these images were good generated by Google Gemini months ago, so apologies for the quality, but it conveys the message. There was this whole story about it launching. It was traveling from Mars to Tau Ceti. It got there hundreds of years later because of the distance, and they started to colonize, no problem. And then shit hit the fan. Something went wrong. Suddenly the 4 invaded. They sent a message back. It traveled for 92 years. We were informed. Then we traveled back, and basically this is where we are now. That's something that so many people just missed when they fire up Marathon. There is a lot of these little messages and stuff that you can open. They're in green text, but again, I feel that it's not been clearly presented to people. So maybe they can generate a really cool intro video or take what they've got or do some voiceover or something just to give people that purpose. Why are we here? We're trying to figure out what the happened. All right. And, of course, there's so many things to this game people don't understand. What's Bingus? You know, give us some Bingus deets, please. But as it's an example of this so many times where you see a drinkable cheeseburger. If you know you can go to an area, you can go and listen to some audio, and that gives you a bit of an understanding of the world we live in. So many people talk about the design of the buildings and stuff being boring, and I'm like, hang on a minute. If you're going to travel to the other side of the galaxy, 300 years or whatever worth of travel, are you going to travel with 50 million different designed buildings, or are you going to have 3D printers that spit out the same blocky thingies? So I think there's logic to it, but they can reiterate this a little bit better so people understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, maybe even inserting a bit more of a North Star than the compiler, something we are aiming to eventually get to. Okay. So, what is the game loop? In my opinion, and again, this is very simple, they will definitely be able to expand on it in the years to come, but right now, simple. Play. Key thing here for a lot of people, win, save, upgrade, move to the next place, and do it all over again. It's a very simple loop. People can say what they want about most single-player games, but it's basically that. You play, you kick some ass, you save so you don't have to go back to the start, you upgrade your character, and you move forward. So, what are we thinking here? Game loop, pretty straightforward for me. Play, decrypt, move. So, we start at one point in the map, and we do some fun challenges, things that for each of the points of interest around the map, we can go and unlock something or explore something, figure out something, learn something. Then we unlock certain things that we had to do in the ARG. So for those who don't know, Marathon had this big ARG, which is a augmented reality game, which is a game within a game. And the whole idea was to unlock cryo. So you've got these elements dotted around all over the maps, little voice messages and things like that. just reactivate them. You have to go and unlock these things. You have to read or understand the story a little bit before you progress. Easy, no new development needed. But then, of course, what is the important thing when you're going from stage to stage? You have a big ass boss to fight. And so, same thing here. We face off against UESC commanders that give us better equipment. Okay, so boom, we've beaten the UESC commander. We then go back, we upgrade our cradle because we've got the cradle. Just use the cradle, because most people who've got a very advanced cradle, they don't need to start from scratch. But those who are starting for the first time, they'll have a basic cradle. I don't see a reason why you can't upgrade your cradle using the single player campaign. Maybe, tell me if I'm wrong, but you can upgrade your cradle, you get better weapons, you keep unlocking little things that you can add, which slowly teaches you the structure of the game's functions. What are mods? You know, what are the various things that you can add to improve your character? Key thing here is you can change them, but when you save it, that's what your character has. You don't lose these things, which I think is key. You save the game, you move to the next point of interest. Are you with me so far? What do you think? So then, of course, the final part of the game loop. You beat the boss and we move on up. So, of course, we beat the final boss in a stage with a big epic fight. You're not expected to win the first time. You're expected to die a few times, but that's okay. You kind of start at a place that you don't have to then do everything again. It should be basically broken off into sections so that you can play the same boss 15 times over and over and over and over, learn the mechanics, understand things, maybe change some of your weapon setups until you crack it. What a moment when you finally beat that boss, you know? And that's, I think, a core loop within Destiny and other games. So then you unlock the next stage. You can't move forward till you've cracked this boss. Maybe you have to do it with friends. Maybe you have to do it yourself. Different things. Then we repeat the cycle. We move to the next stage. All right. So let's talk maps. This is the easy bit. They've got these amazing maps. They are already awesome. So we start obviously with the easiest map, Perimeter. We start the whole game loop as we land in Perimeter. So let's start simple and teach people the basics. Even some of the seasoned veterans will learn little things about this game if they go through this loop, because there's so many things you miss when you're literally just running to either kill or to not be killed. You just miss some of the great detail within this game. But for the people who are starting fresh, great way to teach them piece by piece what's so awesome about this game. So have runners start with easy tasks, you know, go break 5 windows or whatever, and easy battles, simple UESC fights. Kind of explore and show them how UESCs react to sound, how they flank you, things like that. I've learned so much from these me playing solo sponsored PvE maps about UESC, because I didn't have to stress around being just hacked to death by an assassin going around a corner somewhere. You unlock rooms, you understand the value of keys, you complete tasks, become slowly but surely more complex, and you kill UESC commanders. Then, runners can of course go anywhere. This is technically an open map. We can't fully lock them down unless we create invisible barriers. But what we can do to combat that is the areas that are not unlocked yet, the doors are simply closed. So for instance, in this map here, we would start and we move into station. You could run to Hola, you could run to North Relay, and what would you get there? You'll get UESCs, you can fight them, but it's not going to gain you any value because the doors that are essential to being open so that you can go in and complete the point of interest is locked. Simple as that. And so again, it's going to force people to focus on one area, complete it, move to the next. But then of course, I love Holler. For me, Holler is one of the best little sections in the entire game. The mood to it, the battles I've had in it, the level design. If there's ever a crazy cool PvP deathmatch map, I think the Holler is sweaty. That and also a few other places. I'll think further about this. But big sweaty battle in Holler before we move to the next stage. It kind of makes me kind of think, well, here's this big ass Holler. There's probably some way to exit from it and move to the next level. So, what do you think? Any other ideas you'd have for Perimeter? So then Dire Marsh. Oh, our favorite Dire Marsh. I was listening to a Kerr earlier today playing and saying how he hated Dire Marsh. And to be fair, I hated it too. Why? Because you just got sniped long distance all the time. Night Marsh actually allowed me to learn how to play Dire Marsh. Okay, so we then from Perimeter move to Dire Marsh in the day. Key. So now, if people have completed Perimeter, they've learnt a lot about UESC fights. They understand key systems, they understand missions, they understand the various factions a little bit better. And so now we can ramp up the complexity and the sweatiness. They've got better guns, they understand armor, their rotation skills are better, they understand key, their shells better. That is such a big part of this, is understanding what are some of the skills that you need to use and when you're a runner. And so runners now understand the basics, so implement some of the most fun missions in Dire Marsh. Remember, these are actually some really cool missions you can do. One that stands out to me that I hated at one point but loved was the Protect Destroy. That's the one where you hack one of the UESC airplane shuttle things and then it flies and it crashes. Simple but fun, and it gives you that satisfaction. Cool, we've done this, move to the next one. You can wrap a little bit of lore in that story if you want. It could be like, well, they were going to try and warn Cryo or something like that about us trying to get to them, or they stole some hard drive, whatever. Make up some lore if you need to. Another thing is activate that lockdown event, the big red square. I have never done it. Every time I've been in a scenario where I could do it, I've either not have the things with me to keep me from dying, or I just didn't have the team with me. So this would be a great way for you. You have to go through that lockdown event. You will die 15 times, but you'll come out the other side of it understanding how it is, not being scared of it in any way, and actually looking forward to it. And so now you've upskilled people again. All right. Then, of course, where are we exiting? We are not exiting the Dire Marsh. So we create an event that makes us get stuck in complex forever. We're locked down somewhere in a room or something like that, so it's dark. And then the game rotates into Night Marsh. Oh, I love Night Marsh. And so here, let's switch things up again a little bit. Remember, this is weird thing going on in Dire Marsh. It's alluding to superpowers that are out there, but the lore isn't explained. You just kind of run through Night Marsh and shoot stuff. You can go and read these things. They're hidden in submenus, but most people don't do that. So add an element to explaining what's going on. Maybe you have to go and look at the anomaly close up, and there's this voice message that says, well, the anomaly is caused by this or this reading or whatever. Give a little bit of substance for us, please. But yes, key thing for me here, make it super scary. And also, here's our first technical proper raid, because the other stages don't really have that built in as yet. So it's a familiar map now. People are comfortable. It's just dark. Turn up the knob on the scary vibes. I think that Night Marsh is scary. It's not scary enough. You can do more things with it. Put us in more claustrophobic environments. Lights go out. Scary monsters attack. You can go ham with this, because we are guiding people through certain scenarios, remember? Another big thing, we're leveling up. What I really want to do today, hence why we're going to be taking the Destroyer, is the UESC Disperse drone. Have them face one. They have to destroy it. It's got some key card you need. Blah, 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 blah. Fight that. So there is a big fight for us. But then, of course, if you've played Night March, you know that the complex challenge where you have to basically go through, unlock rooms to get to the final fight, big epic fight. When you complete it, huge rewards. Have people run through that loop. There's so many people that take 15, 20, 30 attempts at it because they don't know how it works, and every time they get there, there are other teams. Now they've finished the campaign, they know how it works. Now they just have to do it and fight while they're doing it. Great way to get people to see the complexity of some of the things you can do within this game without building new content. And then, of course, Outpost, right? Love the Outpost. So now people are seasoned veterans. They understand the game. I feel that Outpost is great But from a lore perspective, there's probably not too much we need to do here. And so you can see here, you know, I get access to cryo and get to the chopper. Sorry, I know. And so basically the point here is we head to processing, flight control, orientation, dormitories. Then we have to get in the destroyed wing. You know, maybe we could have some reason why you had to go through destroyed. Another door was locked, something like that. Then you got to get into the pinwheel. And then, of course, we move through to the command wing and we have a huge fight with one of the hardest UESC commanders yet. Seriously tough one to do. And then when we complete, let's put a bit of suspense in this. Technically, a shell does get teleported to Cryo Archive or teleported in. But here I feel we need to make it slightly different. You need to fly for whatever reason up there. We've got an airfield in Outpost, so the whole point is you've got a timed run to run from killing the boss to get to the exit, to get to the chopper. And then this airfield will take a shuttle, which takes us to Cryo. There's already footage out there of things flying towards Cryo, aka the UESC Marathon. So you can repurpose those videos, and just give a little bit of a sense of here we go. We've finally cracked it. But why? Why are we going to the USC command ship? What's going on? We have to explain these things. Not there's a ship that's floating in the sky and you can go and have a really sweaty game in it. So for me, I think this is really what's lacking in Marathon. And then, of course, Cryo Archive. Cryo Archive is simple. All we have to do is do what you do in Cryo. They've already got this PvE loop that's coming in a few weeks. The whole idea is you can play it section by section and you learn the map, but of course there's no PvP. So just reuse that. I mean, yes, there'll be a lot of people who've now then played it, but to be fair, there's a lot of people who've done hundreds of thousands of sessions in Cryo. That's okay. Here we focus on those people who have not. So many times, if you're new to this, you come into Cryo going, yay, I have no idea where I'm going. Why am I being shot? Where's that coming from? Where am I supposed to go? What do you mean I need this to get this? What do you mean I can't exfil here? These things we can teach people in here. And we will later in July. So in conclusion, team, sorry, I know PowerPoint presentations put people to sleep, but how else do we present this? In conclusion, I think that Bungie has this great opportunity to create the first campaign with the things they've already built. So use what we already love. So you no need for too much development. I know you don't just take these things, put them together like Lego blocks and work. There's a lot of testing involved, but we're talking about something that they could potentially spin up in months, not in years. All right. And if they do this within the next 2 to 3 months, in my opinion, they can turn things around. People just need to see the beauty and learn the complexity, and they'll become big fans like we are. Key, create a new way for everyone to explore and learn the maps. Like I said earlier, for me, when I played the sponsored solo Night Marsh and Perimeter, I had the time to ingest things, learn things, understand how things are. Not everybody has super great memories, right? And a lot of people who play this, they've got 1 or 2 hours a week. They can't relearn everything. And so this is a great way for people to explore and learn. But then the key as well, face progressively harder challenges, which you can complete either yourself, high five, with friends, of course, or you can just do it with randos. You know, just as the game is already built, you just got them feeding into a link. And then the key, I also think here is to make it a little bit more Destiny-ish. Give people that North Star to work towards, give them a path to get there, give them reasons to get there, and then teach them slowly how to get there. And I think they will be onto something. And then remember, once we've finished Cryo, we can continue from there. There's a whole massive amount of lore, other places we can go on Tau City. There's so much to do. So, Bingus likes this. Bingus subscribes. Please, I'd love to hear your thoughts here, team. What did you think? Is this something that you think we should push to get Bungie involved in? Do you think there's something they'd pick up? Maybe it's already something they're thinking about. But yeah, again, I'd love to hear from you. Okay. All right, team. That's enough of the waffle. Shall we jump on down and take the destroyer for a spin? What up, team? How you doing, bro?
Oh,
Here, over here.
Exactly. Who let a turkey play marathon? Turkey, what did you get for Christmas? Oh, sorry, that was Thanksgiving, my bad. My question, Turkey, are you an American turkey or an Australian turkey? Canadian, clearly. Nice one, boys. That was a lot of fun. Keep well, turkey. Hey, look, I appreciate you joining in. I'd love to hear in the comments, especially what you thought at the top of the stream regarding what I think Bungie can do to create a cool campaign out of what exists already within the game. So go check it out. But hey, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button if you want to see more. Subscribe, follow, all of that good stuff. But hey, just have a great night. We'll see you soon. Jam.